There seems to be a lot of confusion right now about what women are asking for in the protests and on social media after the horrific rape and murder in Kolkata. So I want to clear this up. Women are asking for safety, not protection. There is a difference between these two things. Safety means the ability to live out the full potential of our lives without fear. That means going to school, going to college, going to a late night meeting, taking a bus or a train or a late night flight, a night shift without worrying about being attacked or raped or murdered. Because we are equal to all men. But actually in life we're not equal, because every single decision that we make is laced with a risk assessment of whether this place will be too dark or too lonely, or what kind of people will I wind up with, or will there be drinking? Is it safe? Is it fair? Is it worth it? Will I get murdered? And there's all of this talk about not all men. No one is saying that all men are attackers. What we're saying is that for a woman, every man has the potential of being an attacker. So we have to constantly be vigilant and on guard for every single moment of our lives, for the possibility of an impending attack. So women actually live their lives like rabbits in a lion's den. Have you seen a rabbit? It will lean down to eat something and what is that sound? And then it will lean down to eat something. What is that other sound? What is happening? Who's coming? Am I going to get attacked? That is what our lives are like. Can you imagine the stress? And then we pass on that stress to the next generation because it's the only way to stay alive. This risk assessment, or are we going to get attacked? If we take a nap in a seminar room in the hospital or the office that we're working in, and if that happens and we do wind up getting attacked and raped and murdered, people will say, what was she thinking? Didn't she know better? Why was she there so late in the night? The onus is constantly on the women to constantly be on guard and watch out. And what I find atrocious is the word nirbhaya that gets used in the same sentence as rape and murder. Nirbhaya means one without fear. Whereas women are living in fear every day, soaking and marinating in our own fear. And while we live like this, nobody can hear our voice. It is only when one of us dies in the most gruesome fashion that people start talking about it, and then liberally start using the word nirbhaya. We are not without fear. We want safety and not protection. The idea that women need protection stems from a patriarchal idea that we are possessions of our male family members and we will be protected like betis, behen, ma. We will only get protected if you can in some way see in us your own family member. The principal who tried to pass off the crime in Kolkata as a suicide first, then eventually said she is like a daughter to me, offering some kind of protection. The idea that you will only protect us if you see in us your beti is pointless. We are not your beti. We are not your sisters. We are not your mothers. We are your equals. And you know why? Because the Constitution in its first page promises us equality as a fundamental right irrespective of our gender. We are to be treated as equals and not dependent on you to see in me some family member and award me your protection. You have to treat me as an equal. What does that entail? That entails better policing, better lit streets, better surveillance, policies that value human lives and careers, workplace policies that give us equal pay and treat us on par with our male counterparts, politicians who don't dismiss women as secondary, forensic evidence that is collected and handled properly, courts that give verdicts before witnesses turn hostile, harsh punishment for those people who use rape as a weapon of caste and communal suppression, and especially for those people who use rape in a false sense of honor. All of this material is already widely available to all of our governments. They know what needs to be done, but they won't do it because the work is too hard. Mamata Banerjee, a woman herself, has said that she sees these protests as a conspiracy against her and her government. And then she has asked for the death sentence. This is lip service. I'll tell you why. Because all of our politicians know that there are two deterrents to crime. One, the extent of punishment, and more importantly, two, the possibility or the likelihood of getting caught and getting punished. In India, according to the NCRP, as of 2016, there were 133,000 rape cases still pending in our system. Because in India, when someone goes to file a police complaint, the police get paid off by the accuser, the victim gets bullied into withdrawing their complaint, the evidence goes missing, the public prosecutor gets paid off, the court dates drag on, tariq pe tariq, witnesses become hostile, accused gets bail, nobody is ever punished. It doesn't matter what death sentence is at the end of this process if you never complete the process for decades and decades and decades, and unless we fix those problems. The idea of a death sentence is lip service. There is research that tells us that 99% of the cases of rape in India do not get reported at all because of a false sense of honor in the victim's family. Of the cases that do get reported, only 28% actually reach a conviction, which means only 28 out of 100 cases are actually finally concluded. So politicians who say, we will give death sentence, are liars. It is a smoke screen because they are unwilling to do the real work to deliver the real equality and the safety that we are asking for. Mr. Policeman, Mr. Politician, Mr. Principal, Mr. Judge, we are your equals. We demand to be treated as your equals, and that is what we are asking for. That is what we are protesting for. We're saying we don't want to wait until another one dies. Another nurse has been raped and murdered in Uttar Pradesh. There are cases being reported on a daily basis. What is it